The other shoe is dropped. I want that to be the very first thing I say here because if I tried to recall to my best of my ability, the last couple of lives I did was, well, this is a very strange ordeal here where I'm sitting on a platform of which I have conceded with people that are smarter than myself regarding that this platform is a private company, and we can't argue that as much as we may throw the stones of free speech, and that's not in their clause, that's not in their terms of service, that they have to honor the Constitution. So remember, I spoke about how we were going to see some sort of backlash, we're going to see some form of regression after YouTube has suddenly said, "Hey, it's okay." In my last video titled, what is it? Operation Slow Drop, or Slow Drop Media Presents. That video entailed the entire scenario of it's now okay to say that the election was fraudulent, or we have evidence of impropriety, and that Trump probably won. If not, here, I'll just rip the band aid off. Trump, I think, legitimately won, only they gave it to Biden. So I was always waiting. Even when I was reading all of the news in the real time, I had the article there in front of me, and I'm reading out loud with the audience. And I just keep seeing and asking what's going to happen as a result, because it's always a give and take relationship. It's never just here's good for the sake of altruism. We're now doing the right thing to feel better about ourselves and to be a bigger and better country. That's not what it is. So I go and start looking around the YouTube skeets here, and I don't care. This is probably going to be demonetized. Matter of fact, well, you saw 2 videos ago, completely red, which means nowhere on the algorithm. You all but have to type it out for yourself to find it. Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, mostly here we are again. You may talk about an election being fraudulent, but real and actual conservative voices that have maintained and organically grown their own audiences are now being actively silenced. By the way, did you hear that on Twitter? Elon Musk, or apparently, no, let me not attribute this. Somebody within the Twitter sphere of owning Twitter took down the "What is a Woman" video and had it deleted, and there was all this crap. Here, this I can share and show. All right, so here's Matt Walsh's community page, right? Just in a span of 24 hours. In 24 hours, we got to witness our own voice be stolen and given back, and stolen and given back again. So that's how frail this our very freedoms are in the name of, I don't know, big government or big companies, the elite that really call the shots. And if you don't think so, I'll leave it to, thank God Elon Musk is one of the good ones. I've always been indoctrinated to not like the guy, but just like when I had to do the research on Trump and inevitably come to the conclusion, the man has done some good. You can't tell me otherwise. You can't look me in the face and say he has not. But yet some Democrats do and will. So here's Matt Walsh. He was advertising that What is a Woman? Great documentary, by the way. For anybody that feels uncomfortable about a very simple question, what is a woman? In this new demographic and world we live in, it's just that common sense is no longer common, and I guess I don't know, agendas. I think we're regressing in the form of progress. So it goes on Twitter for everybody to watch, and then it was taken down, and then I guess Elon Musk he gave the ultimate to whoever took it upon themselves to ruin free speech, and he tweeted out the movie himself. So Matt Walsh, the creator of the documentary, says it's been a wild 24 hours. It began with Twitter labeling our film hate speech for asking a question. That's the entirety of the documentary. I recommend, again, if you've not seen this video or this movie, I just go ahead and YouTube Matt Walsh, click the link and go watch it for free. It's a treat, and it gets around all of the pseudoscience, and you get to see the people that are called out who mutilate children. This video right now, this live, might get stricken down in mid-sentence because of how things are changing. And I started with Candace Owens for a reason, so I need to circle back to that. There's a lot of things going on, and I'm putting all my passion here right now for the time being. So that's a win, okay. And now going back to Candace Owens, allow me to let her speak for herself. I mean, that's what we're all about, right? The source, remember?
There's a lot going on at the Daily Wire, and there's a lot that went on over the weekend. And I can honestly say that this is the first time since producing this podcast that I genuinely don't want to do the show.
What a shame.
I'm just so frustrated and so angry about things that are going on that the only way that I can
Me
do the
too.
show is to be completely honest with you guys and in the form of announcing to you exactly what is happening behind the scenes and hopeful that it really just inspires a conversation because I question even being on this platform at this moment. So
For
we
good
will talk
reason.
about that and much more.
She's talking about you, YouTube. That's right. Any of the innocent people that happen to have found this live, welcome, thank you. I see you, Cindy D. My son's life mattered. Independent Mini. It's good to see someone I don't recognize, which is was it Broshevik? Trump Musk. Hey, okay. Hey, what's up, Bryn? Big Cat. Okay, so I need to stick to the meat and potatoes here because my appetite needs to be satiated. So check out what YouTube has done to Matt Walsh and to Candace Owens. Conservative voices are being attacked yet again, and the bias of the liberal media is showing oh so strong. And we're going the way of Canada, where it is a hate crime to misgender.
More today coming up on Candace Owens.
Credit to Candace Owens. And, recently I was watching a video of I'm not going to mince words. Let me be brief here. A black man using his platform to talk about how Candace Owens and someone what's the brothers, the Hodge twins, are not actually black people because they have turned their backs on their culture and their people. What does that say about the person who thinks they have the ego and the power trip to actually say you're no longer one of us because XYZ? What a sad state of affairs. So everybody's rooting for, I guess, that one hive-minded mentality to be the case. Otherwise, I guess you're not what you are. Because they've also married outside of their race. They're not who they are. How dare you, I say, to all of the voices that are pandering and getting their views by spewing such vile. There is money in diversity. In dividing and in conflict. We see where the views go on YouTube. Let's all just be quite honest about that. The more bullshit, the more attention.
Because he has been hitting out on gender issues.
He being Matt Walsh.
He has been talking about women being women
Holy
and
crap.
men being men.
Big
and
Barn, it's great to see you here. Big Barn Productions, great to see you. Silva Girl, holy crap. Guys, forgive me if I'm going to remain as vigilantly focused because I don't know if I have it in me to talk about the things that are weighing heavy on my heart right now. Things are tough in the family thing, and I'm probably going to talk about it. But let's see if this gets taken down mid-stride.
In biology, in biological reality. And so for whatever reason, I think after What is a Woman came out, they really began to focus on his channel. Well, very recently, we found out that YouTube is also placing some focus on my channel as well as Michael Knowles' channel. And
Michael Knowles, that's another name. So we got 3 more conservative voices. Yep, and that one I cannot pretend. I don't want to pretend that I know this man well or what he's advocating for, but they all have one thing in common. Okay, they're speaking against the status quo that the powers that be seem to expect us just to fall in line and say, yes, okay, tell us what to believe next.
We're basically given an option to delete every video that I've ever done pertaining to gender, in which I have accurately gendered someone, which is now quite crazy to say this. Accurately gendering someone is now known as misgendering someone. And that
So there's a new word for telling the truth. Do you see how this works? They do more new spin words, buzzwords, make things more sensational, hyperbolic, and it's easier. Just like the term conspiracy theorist was invented, so they could just put you in a box and you fit in it, and then you're easily written off. Well, so now, if you want to speak the truth about someone's biological sex, you're not telling the truth. No. You're misgendering them. or dead naming, or all of these nonsensical "oh woe is me" small violin terms that the left wants to die on the hill for.
That is considered hateful conduct. So you may be noticing right now that my channel had a lot more videos
Global Watchman News, welcome Lori, hope you're well.
on it last Friday, and now a lot of those videos are missing.
YouTube essentially gave Candace Owens an ultimatum: take down everything that refers to gender from your channel, or face our wrath. Because remember, Matt Walsh on YouTube, demonetized. Huge platform. Dude has got followers in the millions. Gone. Just like that. And Twitter, thank goodness for Elon Musk, coming in the clutch and not only making it available to the public, but tweeting it out himself. So now it's blown up in your face for now. Grand old mainstream and whatever and whomever is behind it all, deep state. It blows up in your face when you get caught out by the right ones at the right time. And now it's going to give even more traction and traffic to the things you tell us not to do, what not to think, what not to watch, say, or whatever the case. We're America. We are the rebellious teenagers of this world. We will always be that. You tell us not to do something, well, somebody's going to go ahead and do it damn proud, okay? So here we are, just doing what we do, watching you throw your consequences around. Is it stopping us? No. And last I checked, I think Rumble is doing okay.
I feel, to be completely honest with you, completely conflicted about this. I feel that it is capitulating to stay on a platform that is demanding that we lie. And it is shocking to me that any platform, any business, whether it is a private business or a public business, can compel people to say things that are not true. Actually, Michael Knowles said something. If you guys happened to have caught the Twitter audio that we did last week when we were promoting What is a Woman, Michael Knowles said something that I thought was really, really important and heavy to consider. He said, the question is not whether or not we have free speech. Maybe perhaps I could deal with a platform that didn't have free speech. But the question is whether or not we are allowed to say true things. And that's where we're at right now in America. Think about that. Are we allowed to say true things? Maybe I can't freely say things, but am I allowed to say
men have a penis, women have a vagina, except for the 0.6 to 0.9% of hermaphrodites that exist in the world? Under 1%. Sounds kind of similar to the statistics of the mortality and spread of COVID. No codes anymore, okay? You keep on pulling back the curtain in terms of your slow drip of the blatant lies that slowly become the truth as we've always known them to be. And then this is the underhanded crap you guys are pulling in the background while returning the rights we always had. So somehow it's supposed to go down smoother? No.
Something that is abundantly true? Are you allowed to say in America that Candace Owens is a Black woman? And if the answer to that is no, then we need to fully acknowledge that we are losing our civilization. What I can say to you is that the answer to that is definitively no on YouTube. You are not allowed to say true things, depending.
That's why we are all finding ourselves inexplicably confused, talking in code words and whatnot. We can't even talk about like crimes or mental health in a way that's conducive because we get lost up in the bureaucracy and the red tape. If I wanted to deal with all that crap, I'd go ahead and work in the government. But then again, that would require my selling of my own soul. So I'll just stay right here behind the mic.
How it makes somebody feel. You cannot acknowledge
feelings over facts for always. That's what they want us to believe, and we're never going to fall for it. That has to go. That's two-way street. Those for whom are religious respect and understand. There are those that are not, and I think those of you that have done a fantastic job. It seems the intolerant liberal left, with all of their Antifa outlets and all of their organizations that are communistic at heart, continue to profiteer off of their hatred and bile. The more it's bought into, the more they make.
For example, that I am a Black woman. If I wake up one day and I decide that that's not how I feel on the inside, maybe today I say, I feel like a Hispanic male. And then you make a video and you say Candace Owens is a Black woman, and YouTube will support me. They will take down your video and they'll penalize you. And if you do that repeatedly, if you keep saying, no, Candace Owens is a Black female, they will demonetize you. They will risk your livelihood. If your livelihood has been established by the money.
In case I skipped over it, her channel, with a following of how many millions now, by the way, only on YouTube, close to 2 million subscribers, okay? And more viewers than that, especially hate watchers. She essentially, her videos have been removed without her autonomy, without her willingness. So funny that that's the tactic that's being used from the so-called people and party that wants nothing but a woman's autonomy, right to choose. There you go. There's a woman right there. You're taking away her very freedoms and pretending it's something else. You fucking hypocrites.
Money that you make on YouTube, YouTube will target you and they will take it down. Now, I cannot personally capitulate to that, like forgetting any standards, forgetting anybody else, just me as a human being, as a Christian woman, as somebody who is a patriot and who very much believes in free speech. And I would say probably most importantly, as a mother, that
free speech needs to be a universal, bipartisan thing that we all support. This is why we cannot let emotional backlash win the day. Because when it comes for your champions and your voice, who's going to be there to listen when you cry?
understands what the implications are of this discussion that we are having, what the implications are for my young children, for my 2-year-old son, and for my 11-month-old daughter. If we are adults and we are too afraid to acknowledge reality because we are afraid that we are going to lose money, I can't have that level of cowardice, because that means that when my children are of school age, they will have to deal with the consequences of my cowardice. I can't do it. It really impacts me. So the question becomes, how do we fight them, right? How do we fight them? Because the truth is,
forgive me if you find me getting a lord, because I didn't watch past this. All right, and right now she's speaking my language. We will not compromise ourselves just for the sake of pussyfooting on the line to go ahead and get I don't know what, 4 views counts as one single view and a couple cents, a donation here or there. No, I don't want any of that. It's the platform and the voice and the ability to utilize that, what I consider a blessing, a word I very seldom use. Untainted, using it untainted. Well, it is compromised and it is poisoned from within, from outside and inside. Time to call it out, man.
is that these people do have a lot of power. And if they just begin to wipe away conservative pages and we say, oh, we're just going to go on these lesser established platforms, we won't have the same reach. And reach is obviously critical. We have obviously been able to use our reach to affect great change. Obviously, you probably saw this over the last couple of days with the success of What is a Woman, which I think is up to something like 150 million views on Twitter, because Matt agrees with me.
Please watch it if you haven't. I can't make it any more clear how desperate I am personally. I don't care what side of the aisle you fall on. It's a damn good documentary. It's enticing, and it's also borderline insane. That the question takes you down this rabbit hole of crazy science, crazy people science, and mutilation, and the justification of it, all to just go to, I guess, what I always preach, the source. I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say it's not that it's a lackluster ending. It's just like a doy at the end. Watch it, and you'll see what I mean.
Cannot do that. He cannot morally sit here and lie to people because of how they feel on the inside. Well, I think that for me, especially considering that it is Pride Month, I am going to re-examine my viewpoints on how I talk about this topic and maybe abide by YouTube's policy fully in a way that allows me to rest my head on the pillow. And so I think that the best way to do that is by doing what they have asked for.
It's heartbreaking to witness somebody actually, and I'm grateful she's willing to have this open dialogue with everybody in real time. This was released hours ago, but she's literally saying I may have to compromise my own conscience so I can sleep at night and adhere to the overlords, the tyranny. Now, I'm not saying YouTube is like, a tyrannical, unjust government, even though they certainly are doing well at playing the part. They're just really, really good at being secretive about it, I suppose. So I applaud a woman that I used to spew nothing but negativity about on the Stuck in the Middle days. And to Josh's credit, he'd always ask me why. I really never had a good answer, and I find myself with none to this day.
Allow trans people to exist, to acknowledge that trans people have a right to exist, to acknowledge that they should be platformed and that they should be allowed to share their story. And that is what I intend to use my platform for this entire month. I'm feeling tremendously proud of the LGBTQ community, and I want to contribute to that conversation by revealing to you the truth, their brave journeys and the things that they are going through.
Are you looking to change your mood? Well, these are full spectrum infused gummies from
While
Hello
this
Mood.
ad
I've been
plays,
trying Mood.
or I can just skip it right now and get back to it. I was going to go to
May
Matt Walsh.
actually be the circumstance that maybe you were just simply born into the wrong body. And my former language of suggesting that going through these procedures to change your body, I think I described it as mutilation, is wrong. How could I say that? I'm not a trans person that is
I'm sure she's going somewhere with this. She's far more intelligent than I am. But I'm going to call it mutilation when it comes to children being allowed to make such decisions, such permanent decisions. Mutilation by no other term, definition, or description. That's what it is. But she isn't. She's an intellectual. I'm a savant.
existing. We need to hear from trans people about their journey. So let's provide first and foremost a person who goes by Adia a platform here with my audience to describe Adia's procedure that Adia went through. Take a listen.
Years ago, I got gender reaffirming surgery. Here's a honest update. Do I regret it? Short answer is yes. Don't get me wrong, I got it done twice. It looks Barbie. Why do I regret it? Well, because I will never be able to live a normal life. After the surgery, you have to start dilating to keep the space they gave you. You start from doing it 4 times a day to once a week for the rest of your life. I was fine with that. See, the problem is I had major complications, and now for some reason, I need to do it every single day. Now, obviously, I've had relations, and girls, we all know guys don't know what to do. So it's not really worth it to me. The problem is I cannot stop. If I stop, it's going to close up and create a bubble, and that bubble could literally create an infection that could... The two options here are I dilate for the rest of my life, or I get it removed surgically. Surgery goes for $70,000, and I don't want to go through that again, so I guess I'm dilating.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Candace Owens. Well done. While adhering to the terms of service as YouTube has dictated. Okay, and that's exactly what I was thinking. Where's the subset of that community that talks about, I made a rash decision at a younger age, and I wish it wouldn't have played out as it did. They're sharing the space with the very people that feel so oppressed and condemned. And I guess this is where it gets nuanced. If I try to nitpick, them feeling oppressed when there is some level of possible delusion, but I am not in their shoes and I cannot speak for them. I do not know what it's like to feel like I am in a different body. I make usually light levity of this situation, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I've gone so far as calling them they're really coconuts and SpongeBob is inside. Yes, this is my attempt to continue the conversation with levity without having the stakes feeling so damn high. Maybe that's not the best approach. It's been my approach. I'll keep learning from Candace, though. Thanks, YouTube, for making her evolve in having this conversation so I can better learn how to have the conversation myself. Kudos.
Much, Adia, for sharing your story, especially during a month where that's what we should be doing, sharing trans stories. And Adia is not the only one. And in fact, I want to show you some images because you might be a parent that is sitting at home and sharing.
Possible trigger warning. I don't know what this is going to be. It is on YouTube. I did not have to click, age, consent, or anything. So, images. I'm nervous, but we're here for the ride.
How your son was born a son, but then you realize that actually it was a daughter, or maybe it's the reverse. Maybe you gave birth to what you thought was a daughter, and then one day that daughter looked up at you and said, "Actually, mommy, I'm a boy." And you believe that in your heart to be true. And so I want to share the information of your journey personally, what you are going through, and what your child, who may decide as a young adult to go through this procedure to have his outside match his inside, might go through. So this is an image, and I want to first say viewer discretion is very
Shit.
much advised on this, of what that procedure looks like. Now you are probably cringing a bit, but this is just surgical,
Okay.
guys. Don't think too bad of it.
I've seen some surgical photos, and that's the one thing that actually triggers me. Maybe it's because of my own surgery with my rib cage. So okay, good. It's censored out. Didn't want to see it anyway.
To think too
Thank
badly about
goodness.
this, but yes, what you are looking at is somebody's upper thigh that is being carved out in those first two images. Obviously, that is what you are looking at. And then that upper thigh is being used to construct a penis. So you've carved out a thigh. Sometimes you can also use a bicep. And that's what you're doing. You are creating a penis. And I've learned more about this in the interest of pride and sharing with people what actually takes place with these sorts of procedures, these prosthetic penises. Some of these penises include an inflatable implant that involves a silicone pump that is inserted into the scrotum, which can be squeezed to generate an erection. So that seems to me to be
Jesus.
what people might want.
Pretty weak here. Also, I'd like to recognize the portion of. Oh, this reminds me of this. This is from Dylan Mulvaney. You know, the one who is so successful at tearing down Bud Light with good intentions. YouTube. That's the beginning. Strike me down. It's over. Or is it just I'm not large enough to be struck down, so we can get away with it? We'll see. I'm sure this will be yellowed or red. Who knows? But Dylan Mulvaney had a bulge appreciation TikTok thread where that's the message. Not tucking in. This is for those that do not have the surgery, and this is also on platforms that children go on constantly for fun or for whatever the case. They live on these platforms, and they are watching platformers and influencers after they have tucked in their penis or letting it all hang out and just having the bulge under a swimsuit or some pants and having the like Pride Month. This would be a day we're going to embrace the bulge today, ladies. Huge little fallacy there with the whole, women don't have bulges. But okay, let's ignore that for the sake of the emotions of the person that is disgusting enough to go on and promote that on a platform where children are going to see it.
Obviously, when you talk about the potential for your livelihood thereafter. Now, I'm going to have to warn you that a big study was just done by Women's College Hospital in Ontario, and they found this year that more than half of trans women who had bottom surgery were in so much.
Damn, OG Ghost. Okay, hold on. I like that a lot, and I'm sorry I'm not as involved with the chat. Trust me, I have my reasons. Anyway, okay. Why doesn't more creators not bring up the fact that we still jail people for self-medicating of their own drug of choice? That's a very good point. While we openly promote this as brave and courageous. Check and mate. Hypocrisy identified in plain English. I await your response.
Pain years later that they needed medical attention. For trans men who often have a mechanical device, as I just shared with you, implanted, the studies suggest a fifth needed the implant to be removed within a year. Now, obviously, these operations have garnered some political debate, but again, the idea here is just that trans youth are depressed and we shouldn't focus too much on the downside, right? Am I learning this?
Check out the stats of their unaliving rates. Sorry, I'm walking on the eggshells. But yeah, they are huge, notoriously impossible to ignore. So let's have that conversation. If the LGBTQ or the T community wants to be officially recognized, respected, and all the above, we have to have all of the conversations that we're forced to have you must be held accountable for the very things that you might find to be insensitive. And I've made plenty of examples here. A mass unaliver that happened to be trans. Now that is an anomaly. Okay, that doesn't mean it's an exception to the rule. It means, though, it's something we could talk about. What about the reservations and the issues that anybody within the trans community may feel towards the cisgendered population, so much so that they go out and attack those of a faith, being Christian? That was one case, and I have heard crickets in response to those questions being proposed. Nobody seems to want to have those conversations. We will not sit here and let anybody cherry pick what is discussed and what is thought about. That is why it's going to fail ultimately, I have to believe.
Right, YouTube? We shouldn't focus too much on the downside, and we should just talk about the upside. A large study that was done last year found that more than a third of penis implant procedures to give an erection had complications so bad that further surgery was required. 9 months after the procedure, more than a fifth of patients had to have their devices removed, either due to infection or mechanical failures. So here's the thing. I'm going to include these sources because I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I will include these sources and these links in the description of this particular YouTube video.
With no implication, I'm not connecting dots here, but there's a lot of money in these operations, and no insinuation of, infections happen. I'm sure that there's got to be so many different ways for infections to occur, but allowing a younger population with less authority of their own, will, what they don't know what they want, allowing them to go through these procedures guarantees a lifetime patient, guarantees a lifetime paycheck. That's how I'm looking at it.
Because I'm feeling pride. I feel proud. I want to show you guys these images because it is Pride Month, and the parents that are supporting this should be proud, because even if these procedures fail, and even if they require further surgery, and even if people like Adia are telling you that they regret their procedures, it doesn't matter, because we just need to all do our part and push this ideology. I'm going to show you one more image in the interest of pride. Here you are. Again, viewer discretion is
Really
advised because we are looking at surgical procedures. And this one is a phalloplasty. So yeah,
Cool.
I think it's really wrong when conservatives, evil conservatives that don't understand people's feelings, refer to this sort of stuff as mutilation. Because even if things go wrong, it's really about how you feel on the inside.
God, I want to give her a high five like never before.
And that's all I'm going to say about that for right now. It's finally summer here in Nashville, and when the weather is nice out.
Okay, so I don't want to just sit here and host Candace Owens' own material and content. I just wanted to show, I guess, some solidarity, and I really respect and appreciate her approach given the new climate. They've already silenced Matt Walsh, I remember he was up on a podium with, some radical lefties and some doctors, the pseudo doctors that don't, believe that gender is a construct and all of that. It's the biological sex that's real, and but it gets crazy. So now this 2.5 million subscriber channel is demonetized, and that's a damn shame, because he has truly, I think, given a voice as an everyday man, just a regular John Q intellectual. No, he doesn't have the college background, and I've seen him ostracized and nailed to the cross figuratively for not having the same curriculum as everybody else that goes after him. But he's held his own, and he's twisted the tongues of many that have tried to simply answer his question: what is a woman? So I guess real quick, and apologies for as often as I say that, I have done a full screen because I want to do a quick check to see if I have saved anything that I felt within the week. And then I do have a personal SOS I'd like to put out there. It's very personal. I'm going to be a little vague, but it's how I'm going to choose to deal with something, because I don't know what else to do short of the next steps here, and I'll make clear what I'm talking about. So give me a moment. I don't want to use any stuck in the middle topics. Let me go here. I sent something to myself 2 days ago, but here. All right, let's check it out together, shall we? This is I don't know. This video is gonna survive. Let me get back to StreamYard here. This is Epstein related. Apparently, like, I don't know what to make of this. Like, everybody's name that is associated with Epstein can't all be just completely evil. Am I right? Because Trump and he were friends, and I've heard every version that defends Trump. And look, I want to vote for Trump.
Is a low code.
But anyway, let me see what this is about. I must have been working and just figured this is something I wanted to share. So let's learn together. That's the whole intention of the platform while it's alive and surviving. A few more seconds for this to pass. And what the more yeah. This Jazzercise thing is a freaking joke. Okay. Boom. Let's see what this is.
The Daily Mail released a cache of documents today exposing the extent of Jeffrey Epstein's close connections with celebrities and elites. The Daily Mail got a hold of never-before-seen emails detailing the disgraced financier's private calendars and communication that included past presidents, prime ministers, and billionaires like Bill Gates, Peter Thiel, Facebook's early investor Sean Parker, and other prominent names.
Epstein's estate gave the files to the U.S. Virgin Islands government. The Daily Mail obtained the files and broke down who and how the people were involved. I'm looking at this article. This is Irina Shayk, Chris Rock, Richard Branson, Peter Thiel, as mentioned, Jeff Koons, Mariah Carey's ex, Jamie Dimon, the chief executive of J.P. Morgan,
Right.
who is part of this legal dispute with the Virgin Islands.
Right. So the question is how much J.P. Morgan and implicitly
Epstein's Black Book revealed. Okay.
Dimon were aware of why and how Epstein was using the bank to facilitate the financial transfers that facilitated these crimes.
Has anybody else seen? You don't have to answer, but it's not rhetorical. It's no secret. Aside from having Hunter Biden living in my closet constantly smoking crack, and that's currently where he bases his sex trafficking ring, from my closet. I saw some alarming footage that I've never seen before, but I bear in mind all of the factors such as deep fakes, and there's a lot of things that are external. Okay, but have you guys seen this footage where he's with young ladies? I am on those eggshells again, and it looks very inappropriate and highly sexualized. And allegedly, the picture, if I had access to the footage or the images, I don't know that it would be wise that I play it here. It is censored. It's all censored, but it's clearly him. And I don't know, like, with that being out there, with his laptop being out there, are we going to hear more about this man that's still free and traveling the country? Anyway, okay, I'm sticking on.
Pedophilia, the arrangement of meetups with these young girls, all of this kind of thing. And so having this private address book that shows kind of an intimate look at his efforts to reach out to various public figures, to talk to them, to rehabilitate his public image, all after he had already spent, an 18...
Okay, Squid, so to that, I've seen something similar, and there's a photo with like four to six young... let's not mince words when it comes to critical conversation and things that are important, too important to confuse people, okay? With what definitely appear to be children all over his body, dressed oddly provocative and strange, leather, one in red, and one that is so deplorable. Describing it, I fear, would actually get this entire channel a strike. So it's out there. I don't know what else to say. But where's like people jumping in front of it? It's not that you just don't acknowledge things and they go away. So where is the recourse here? Where's this man trying to defend himself? I don't understand. It breaks my brain.
Month prison term for pedophilia is particularly revealing, especially since there are these emails.
I hear you, Indy. There's just more pictures that have come to the surface. I don't know if it's the algorithm, I'm not doing any specific deep dives, but just this stuff is getting, I guess, more slipped into the mainstream. And I can't believe, as it so easily finds itself to the front of my eyes, if it's that easy for the world, that somehow none of them are being held accountable. I'm mystified or naive.
Back and forth to JP Morgan figures like Jess Staley, who I think we talked about in another segment, who's been a center point of some of these investigations.
So JP Morgan
Right.
is fighting
There's
for
also
what?
a lot more with the Prince Andrew situation here. Shows
That's so obviously, like, we already know. You saw the documentary, you didn't need to. The Prince fella that went there should be in prison, but that's not the world we live in.
There's evidence of meeting with Prince Andrew and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, that Epstein had very intimate, detailed knowledge of their finances, maybe more.
I hear you know what, Indy? I hear you. There is nothing new here. This man was trying to get a leg up on the powerful, on the elite, on the people that have that, FU money. I'm so rich and untouchable. There's nothing that can be done. And Epstein strategically, disgustingly, made it so he had material that would cancel, hurt, put away, or have true consequences against these people. It took a monster to shed light on other monsters. It was the abyss staring right into the abyss. I wish there was a lighter note, truly. I understand somebody that I'm absolutely cool with. C-Files is going to be going live. Go ahead and give C-Files a check out. Type C-Files and you'll find him. C-Files the Carney. There's a lot of drama and stuff on YouTube. And let me be quick about my little SOS, and this is from the heart. Anybody that has any experience with an elderly loved one that is in the midst of being, I don't know what to call it, brainwashed or scammed in some like being groomed, I'm at a loss for words, and this is why I came on here screaming and with such urgency, because I'm in a lot of pain watching what's unfolding, and I'm helpless because the person I want to help doesn't want to be helped and has made it clear that they'd rather live in this fantasy world than have anything to do with the people that love her. If anybody knows a channel that I can reach, I don't want to call law enforcement and I don't want to call a hospital. But kept it small. Please feel free, guys, to let me know if you know of a resource that's tailored to celebrity not scandals, impersonations, and they go through all this crap on Instagram. Anyway, that's enough drama for the time being. Thank you, guys. Squid Indy. Please check out Independent Manny's channel. Drop that link. OG Ghost, it's good to see you. It has been some time. That one girl, Ali. And I left Discord for a while because of the behavior of many, but I'm considering a return because I feel that I have touched base with enough truly independent thinkers that will not be swayed with the tide or with a large body of people all telling them to say or do or think a certain way. I am growing a new confidence outside of the old experiences that left a very, very sour taste on my soul. And it's a aspect of humanity I think is unavoidable, but I never want to stare into it again. And Discord represented a congregation of people that would get together and attack, defame, and destroy others. And there was like you have to attend or you're gonna be punished kind of crap. But I'm not gonna get too deep into that. So that's a lot of nonsense about the Discord and my issues with it. There's a larger conversation to be had about it, but please fight the good fight. All right, utilize that beautiful independent brain, that big beautiful brain y'all have, and don't worry about me and the things that are happening behind the scenes. I can say this much: my trip to New York and Jersey that's coming up, I will now be on my own. I am not able to bring the loved one that I was hoping to help. So that's it. Y'all take care for now. I hope I can come on later tonight. We'll see what the future holds. Much love. All right. For lack of a better term, God bless America. I'm not religious, but I know that's a term that's synonymous with patriotism, and patriotism is not an ugly thing. It's something I want to see again, and I want to see it mean something again to the people that run the show, because they don't care. We have to care for them. Good night for now.